day, guys. So welcome to the first ever IEM shootout that I'll be doing for this 3 IEM. So I'll be doing this entire video on an unscripted or unadulterated way because to get my honest and real reactions and comparisons between these 3 IEM. So the reason why I did this shootout because I think this is the first time ever in the audio hobby that three releases from three different companies had the same name. So these are all called Zero. So they also released in the same uh, season or in the same months within each other. So it's basically a very competitive scene between these three, and it's also not much of a big price gap between these three. It's a closer price gap between these two, but at looking at it at a more general way in terms of pricing, so they're not that far from each other. So introducing contestant number one, Salnotes Zero over here at the left, held by 2002 Godzilla. At the middle, Tanchjim Zero, she's held by the Showa era Mechagodzilla, and the Truthear Zero, held by Final Wars Godzilla. So I'll try to do a short background between these three before I start with their sound. So this one is Soul Note Zero. So I think this is the very first release uh, from the company Soul Notes. So Soul Notes is a sister company from 7 Hertz, who did the Timeless and Eternal, and now with the collaboration with Chronicle the Dyoko. So Soul Notes is their sister company, and this was IEM is their first release. So over to the next one is Tanchjim Zero. So we all know Tanchjim with their releases Hana, Ola, and all that. So they're known with the pretty patented signature sound of very balanced sounding sets. And over here is Truth Ear Zero. So this is a collaboration with Chronicle. I think there's some speculations that Truth Ear is actually a sister company of Moondrop, but I cannot confirm nor deny that because I do not know actually what the situation is. But it was all based on the font that was used in the packaging and all that. So I do not uh, 100% guarantee that news. So yeah, let's start out with the sound. So for that Solnote Zero, and both the Solnote Zero and the uh, Truth Ear Zero, they're very Harman oriented sounds. So the Truth Ear Zero has some edge because of this. I'll discuss later how how different this one sounds from the other two. But yeah, these two are basically Harman oriented, and this Tanchjim Zero is follows Tanchjim's signature sound of being very balanced all throughout. So when you look at the graph of the Tanchjim Zero, you will basically just see a plain old straight line from the base up until around the central to upper mid range. So that follows that notion. So for the Sol Note Zero, it's that's the overall tonality of that one. It's a very Harman oriented one, and the Touch Zero, it's very balanced and very. I would say this is the definition of neutral sound. So that's the overall tonality of the Touch Zero. And for the Truth Ear Zero, it's again a Harman oriented IEM, but it has quite a quirk to it by having a huge sub bass to around mid bass boost. Like there's an equal hill that you will see on the FR graph, like a very unusual hump. So that is resulted by the special crossover technique that was used in this double dynamic driver. So I forgot to mention that all of these three IEMs use dynamic driver technology. So the only difference is that the Truthear Zero uses two, because going back, this uses the special crossover technology that allows the other dynamic driver in this setup to be uh, separated from the other dynamic driver. So the one dynamic driver here only works for the base frequencies and no other frequencies, and the other dynamic driver works for the uh, uh, other remaining frequencies. So that results in a clean bass boost without any virtually any bleeds from the mid range beyond. So for the bass, if I would to uh, pick between these three, it's obviously the Tooth Ear Zero, because it has that it rumbles and punches quite a bit, packs quite a lot of punch without any uh, caveats by bleeding into the other mid-range, because these two the Salnotes Zero has some sub-bass presence to it that inches forward, rather than the Tanchjim Zero, which literally has a straight line over from sub bass, as I said earlier, from sub bass to central mid range frequency is all flat. So Sol Note Zero has some sub bass lift onto it, but the Truth Ear Zero is it's an experience that you need to be that needs to be heard to be believed. So even in the $100 below price range, the Truth Ear Zero really competes with that range in terms of bass. It's really a great bass response, and I couldn't recommend enough if you're looking for a good bass experience without any caveats or any negative uh, turnarounds for other frequencies. So the Truth Ear Zero is for you. So for the mid range, I think the Tanchjim Zero wins this one, because it truly has the balance experience that almost every IEM company that is striving for right now. So it's a bit of a sentiment of mine that uh, companies deem their IEMs balanced, when in return they're just making the mid-range frequencies very lean. So this is not the same case as the Zero, because it really offers that balanced mid-range frequency, and it's quite a beautiful sound to hear if you experience the any of Tanchjim's products. So their mid-range performances are quite top-notch. So if you're into mid-range capabilities, so the Tanchjim Zero is really the one for you. So it closely follows the its sister is higher price sister's Ola's performance when it comes to mid-range. So the Tanchjim Zero wins it for me for the mid-range frequencies. So yet again, for the treble frequencies, the Tanchjim Zero again wins it for me, because these two being Harman oriented, I don't, as I have said before in my Q&A sessions, or in my general posts, I really don't like how Harman oriented IEMs generally sound. So they're very lean, and they like compensate by using sub bass frequencies and a for me a natural treble response that maybe most of you like, but I don't like it as much as you do. So the treble frequencies on the Tanchjim Zero wins it for me, because it has well extended treble. So both of these two, they have some nice moments left in them when it comes to treble frequencies, especially in their shimmer and a good body, but they lack that nice treble extension that the Tanchjim Zero has. So it also executes this treble extension well, because despite its very undeniable presence of airiness, so there's still a nice amount of shine and body to every symbol or every treble quirk that you may want. So this one really scratches that itch for me. So but if you want a more relaxed treble experience, both of these two have that. So but it sounds for me, it sometimes sound uneven when in terms with treble body and its shimmer. So on the Tanchjim Zero, even though it can have the uh, tendency to be sometimes fatiguing for especially for those who are sensitive in treble frequencies. It does it in a more balanced or in a more fair or balanced way than these two. An even experience rather than these two. So these two has their moments of unevenness in treble presentation. So for the soundstage slash imaging, I have to give it to the Salnotes Zero. I've already said it in my first impression, so I'm quite definitely impressed by how big and wide the soundstage and imaging it is for this IEM, because especially at its price range. I've only heard this type of soundstage and imaging around $100 or even more. So it's a really good fit for Salnotes Zero, especially for audiophiles out there that are also gamers. So this is great for competitive gaming, especially for CS:GO or Valorant or those games that need to uh, the player needs to have accurate imaging and soundstage to really help in their gameplay immersion and strategies. So Solnote Zero definitely wins in that aspect. So I won't take points of Tanchjim Zero and uh, Truthear Zero in that aspect, because honestly, the three of them really nails it at the soundstage and imaging department. So they're all because of their balance or not a warm nor very mid-heavy experience. So their uh, general tuning gives way for a very wide and very accurate imaging and soundstage capabilities. But I have to give it for Sound Zero because of its ultra budget yet stellar soundstage and imaging capabilities. So for an extra for the aesthetics, I have to give it to the Truth Ear Zero, because if you can look at it at a closer angle, look at that beautiful faceplate, and there's a color shift. I can see it that it's recorded in this video, so you can see the color shifting out it and its shininess. It feels like a universe is inside that faceplate. So yeah, for the aesthetics, the Truth Air Zero wins, and also for the build quality, because it has a more rigid and cable. So I won't lie, this cable is generally exactly the same as what you would find in the Tangzu Shiminli. So it's exactly the same except for that logo you can see in the splitter, but and in the jack, but it's generally the same as the Tangzu Shiminli cable. So yeah, so that's my definitive shootout. So I apologize if this doesn't go in too deep into the technicalities and the sound really intensive and really digging deep down into the sound of this tree, because I wanted it to make as friendly and as curated as possible, even in its unscripted nature for this 3i. Yeah. So for me, in a general sense, even if there's a few points, the Truth Ear Zero seem to be lacking in points, but if I were to pick between these three, it's definitely the Truth Ear Zero because of its overall tonality and the unique bass experience that it offers. So but even if I really gushed over it in the aesthetics and the build quality. So you have to understand that this Truthear Zero is clocks at around 50 to $60 US dollars, that is, and these two just clock in at around uh, below $20. So it's generally it's not big of a price gap, but for people like in third world countries like mine, so it may take a big difference in terms of pricing. So in a general sense, if I would to pick between these three, it's still a Truthear Zero, but budget wise, the Tanchjim Zero edges out from the Salnotes Zero for me, because it really offers that all of the good that you could find in a ultra budget range without being too reliant on the Harman tuning, or a very lean presentation than its Harman tuned peers. So I don't try to hide that I don't like the Harman target, and yes, it is very evident, and I won't hide it. So yeah, but uh, in a or in a sound quality or sound tuning, or in everything, especially in the sound, they're all great IEMs. So I won't. Uh, I just chose my subjective pick over these three, but it's all up to you if what IEM you would pick between these three. That's according to your budget or your sound preference. Yeah, that's my shootout of the Solnote Zero, Tanchjim Zero, and the Truthear Zero. So there's nothing more to be said, and yeah, Goji here. I'm out. Goodbye.